Studio Dean is a new madhouse.
Evil words.
Bold statement.
No, that's like
right
evil,
there. That's
evil
what that
words.
is.
What are you talking about, guys? Like Princess Stride, though. 3 of the shows we're talking about are Studio Dean and A1 Pictures.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Studio Dean and A1 Pictures are saving anime.
Well, it's
Anime-
true.
Words
Make
never
anime
uttered.
great again. Studio Dean.
Oh, it's a conspiracy. They would Trump.
Welcome to Spoiler Alert Podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest episodes in anime. You have been warned. Before we begin our discussion, let's introduce our guests. Today we have on the show Jack from Under the Scope Reviews. Hey, Jack.
Hey, what's up?
Hey. So Jack, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do in the anime community?
Okay, well, I make reviews. I know that probably is a big surprise by my channel name. But I started like about a year ago at this point, and more recently have started to get more into like doing some analysis and talking about seasonal stuff, and yeah, pretty much everything.
Awesome. All right. So today for this episode, we will be discussing Erased episodes 7 through 10, Grimgar episodes 7 through 9, Dimension W episodes 7 through 9, and Konosuba episodes 7 through 10. So let's go ahead and jump into Erased. I'm guessing I'm going to do a little synopsis because I'm the only one that kind of remembers everything because I wrote it down. So in episode 7, basically Satoru was able to go back in time and quote unquote kidnap Kaio himself to keep her safe, and I hid her in that bus. And then we were left with that like really, really intense cliffhanger where somebody actually enters the bus. And while Kaio was in there by herself. Episode 8 was kind of basically Satoru investigating what was inside that bus, and he realizes that the stuff inside there was the same murder weapon or murder tools, I guess, from the other timelines that he was in with Kaio when Kaio was actually murdered. And then he realizes that because of all this, that the only way to keep Kaio safe was to bring her back to his house, and Mom was really into keeping her safe too, so good job, Mom.
Best Mom 2016.
Yeah, best mom from first episode, really. Episode 9 was kind of the closure to Kaio's arc. We were able to get her away from the town, get her away from her mother and from the killer, and we were able to get Satoru to focus more on what's her name? Aya, I think, the girl from the other school who was also murdered. And kind of focus his attention on her and get her to have friends too, so she's not alone. And then finally in episode 10, we actually found out who the murderer was, which was the teacher.
Spoiler alert, guys.
And, yeah.
Oh my god. We already warned people.
What do you have to say about that, Sheena?
What's that?
What do you have to say about that, by the way?
About the teacher?
Yeah.
Ray is Jesus-kun.
There we go. Okay. It's been done.
Basically, in our podcast with Dahlia, I think like 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes in, Ray called it. He solidified it in that episode.
Oh, man, so you got proof.
Yeah.
See, no, can I just put my theory out there?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, he's connected to the murders.
The kid?
Yes. I still think it was a Kenya kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
I still think somehow he's involved. I think the teacher might be involved as well.
Yeah,
if not the actual killer.
That would be my guess.
That's the best part.
Yeah. I thought it was the teacher from. In fact, I can point to the specific shot where in my head I thought it's the teacher, but I don't have any proof.
Was it that like kind of red scene?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. That's where I locked it into. Okay.
Red scene?
Like they tinted it like slightly, and
Did they?
like there was this. It was like this one scene. Was that in episode 2 or something like that?
It might have been. Yeah. It was extremely early.
Yeah, like it really gave you like a hint early on, and then they just never touched on it again for a while.
Well, because I know that they were doing the whole red eyes thing to people who could have been the murderer. I know they when they introduced Kenya and and his mom's friend, and the teacher as well. And even him in episode 7, they made their eyes red. But when they made Satoru's eyes red when he was about to like push Kaio's mom down the stairs, I was like, oh no.
Yeah,
The
they
red eyes
basically like
aren't
made their eyes
anything.
red anytime like one of the characters was doing something like basically doing something horrible. So like when Kaio's mom was abusing her and stuff, her eyes were always red.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about the killer being the teacher? Jack, I know you already called it, but was it like a letdown or, you know?
I mean, well, since I was so sure it was the teacher, especially after the candy scene, I forget which episode that was, but I mean, yeah, no, like apparently subtle foreshadowing is completely lost on the show, but I wouldn't say I was let down that it was the teacher, just like meh. I don't know. Like at the beginning, I kind of hoped that it might actually turn out to be the guy that they thought it was from the start, like the guy that actually got convicted. Because
Oh, right, the friend.
yeah, I think his name is
the
June.
friend.
I mean, because
Yeah.
like everything that he did screamed pedophile, like, and
Yeah.
Satoru was so sure that it wasn't him. I don't know. I initially thought that they might like make it him still and go for this point that like the people that, you know, like as a kid you see adults in like this other light, and I don't know, like, you know, kids are easily fooled and like trustworthy and whatnot. But yeah, no, I guess they still kind of made a similar message like that with the teacher because Satoru was so blinded with his trust of the teacher that he didn't even suspect him. But
Yeah.
I do think they made it too obvious.
I don't think it could have even been the other guy though, because if you think about it, like that would mean his mother being murdered was just completely random because he was already
that's
still
true.
in jail.
Well, I did see that some people were throwing a theory around that there were 2 killers. So I don't know how
I
that
think
could play into
some
it.
like one of the theories is actually like that the guy's dad was one of the killers.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's where that theory came from.
Yeah. No, it was. No, I mean, it didn't make like that much sense. That was just what I was initially thinking, basically in the first episode. But yeah, no. After like episode 2 or 3, I was pretty positive that it was the teacher, and I think it was in episode 8. It was either 8 or 9. The scene with the candy in the car, that completely 100%. Even if you had no suspicions of the teacher up until that point, I feel like
Yeah.
then it was completely obvious.
Yeah, I mean, like, for me, I just kind of rolled with it, you know, I didn't really guess who the killer was. But, like, I like the subtlety how subtle it was in the beginning, and then as the episodes went on, it just got more and more like, okay, it's the teacher. It's definitely the teacher at this point, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I got a little bit thrown off for a second when he was actually trying to help Kaio leave the town. In a sense.
That was a good distraction actually, but then they didn't have anybody else to really pin it on. I felt like.
No, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
there were still 2 other murders that was gonna happen, which was the girl from the other school and then the girly guy looking friend.
Hiromi.
Yeah,
Wait, okay.
is that his name?
Is Hiromi a guy? I was never really clear on that.
Yes. Yeah. I think the point of killing him was to make it look like the killer doesn't know that it was a girl.
Okay.
To like kind of put a distraction that it's not somebody that they know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was kind of like the point of it. So how many episodes is this going to be? Like 11 or 12?
12, I think.
12. Yeah. So I mean, at the end of episode 10, it was basically Satoru was trapped in a car. By the teacher, just drove it right into the lake, and now we're kind of stuck in a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
So
the
like
way they ended it was really interesting though, because he goes like, "What was it again that he said? Like, I know what's gonna happen to you or something like that." When he was,
I know
like,
your
going
future.
Yeah, he told him
Yeah,
he
like
was
the
a teacher, and then he was like, "I'm not gonna die without killing you first, or whatever." He said, "Yeah."
Well, no, I think he said that. And then, like, as he was drowning or whatever, he said that. So, like, but you saw a look on the teacher's face when he said that. It was like, is the teacher gonna, like, go in there and, like, try to save him now to figure that out or something? Like, because something has to happen, and if they make it a bullshit reason, that's going to be kind of depressing.
Oh, yeah, like the seatbelt just now magically come unbuckles at the perfect time or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Satoru dies, he can't technically go back to the future because he doesn't exist in in this new timeline that he just triggered.
That is one thing that the series never really explains, like, his time travel power at all.
Oh, that's true.
So I'm not really sure about the mechanics, and that could mean that they could just throw in some plot device here at the end, like to save him with his time travel ability. But I would assume that if he dies, like, that's it. You can't just travel. If you're dead, you can't time travel.
Yeah, you don't exist in the future anymore. Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know, because like, it's so weird from the beginning of the series. It seemed like the teacher always like knew what was going on. You know what I mean? Like when he killed his mom, it's always like this kind of like, I don't know. There's something up with the teacher that he knows things about Satoru. Yeah. I don't know if it's the whole time traveling thing or whatever. Because, like, I mean, there had to be something that he said to the teacher that made him know. But I don't know. I'm just wondering if he's gonna end up triggering going back into the future and somehow survive this whole ordeal kind of thing.
No. Doesn't work. He's got to get saved in some way. That has to be step one before anything happens.
Well, what if he triggers going to the future without, like, knowing who saved him?
I'd be kind of let down by that.
Because it seems like whatever happened, like his mind is still in that old timeline. It's this weird time traveling thing, which is going back to Steins Gate, where he's the only one that remembers everything from like the other timelines.
Well, that's just from reading the first one of the manga, I can tell you that's a lot different, though. But
is it?
Yeah, that's used very cleverly, actually, in my opinion. But
how is it used?
We're not talking about Steins Gate. Like in the manga, at least for Steins Gate, I like how in like there's a difference like with where he already knows everything that's happening and erased. In Steins Gate, it's just he remembers all this stuff because he's the one hopping back and forth, and it's used differently in a different way. So they're not really comparable. I mean, in a way, but like Steins Gate uses it in an interesting way, while like, Erase uses it in the classic way.
Because he didn't know about the whole, like, when he went back to the future in, like, the previous episodes, he didn't know the new way or the new date that Kaio is killed or found. He only remembered about the first time.
I don't know. Things change so minor, though,
Yeah. I mean, still. So I'm kind of interested into seeing what's going to happen and hoping that by the end of this, the mom doesn't die, because she's the best mom.
Oh, yeah. I'll also be extremely disappointed if Kaio doesn't make another appearance. Like,
I want to see older Kaio.
I've been thinking the same thing.
That's actually what I'm looking forward to the most, is when we go back into the present
and see the characters from the past in the present.
Yeah.
No, I'll be super disappointed if all we get is Irie or whatever that other girl's name is. The girl who works at the pizza place.
It's pretty awesome, though.
Yeah.
One thing that threw me off a little bit was that Satoru got like 2 solid glimpses of the killer, one of which was in broad daylight. Like, how did he not at least recognize a little bit that it was that it looked exactly like his elementary school teacher?
It was the hat.
That hat, yeah.
Yeah.
That hat is like,
How much was the gap, though, again? Like 18 years or something?
Yeah, I think it was an 18 year.
That's a decent sized gap, and the guy, I would assume, was in his late 20s, early 30s. He would look a lot different if you think about it.
That's true.
But it's weird because the teacher, if that's the teacher, then he's in with like the cops and stuff, because it seems like he was kind of with them when he was arrested the second time.
Yeah, he was.
He looked like, for a second I thought he was like an investigator or something, because he was right there behind.
I thought so too. Yeah, he was hanging right there.
And I'm pretty sure that he kind of like went, oh yeah, it's that June guy that totally killed all these girls.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm hoping for a good, nothing too rushed. Maybe it might be rushed.
That's probably the thing I'm most concerned about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hoping for a better conclusion as opposed to how bad the reveal kind of was.
Yeah.
Yeah. the
No,
reveal
It was
was...
just
I think
a little
I
lackluster.
think the biggest thing they have to do, like with any mystery, the three most important things are like who did it, how they did it, and why they did it. And Erased kind of botched the who because they just made it too obvious. It wasn't subtle at all. But I'm most interested to see how they answer like why he did it and if they even get to that question.
Yeah.
And I think that'll be important in the next two episodes. I heard that in the manga there's like a pretty extended backstory for the teacher that like was really interesting, and so that'll be hopefully. I really hope they include that because I think that'd make it much better to learn more about the teacher and exactly why he's doing what he's doing, and not just because he's this evil guy who likes to kill children.
Right.
It's kind of like with Kaio's mom. At first she was just like, oh hey, this is a person who's just inherently evil and she's a child abuser. So there you go. But they kind of gave her like reasoning behind how she like spiraled into like the horrible state that she's in at the end of
Right.
Kaio's arc, basically.
I did like the end of that arc though, how they're like, we don't feel any sympathy for you though. It still wasn't
No,
right.
definitely, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
was glad that all of them were like. I was glad to get some reasoning behind the way she is, and like also to see her break down the way she did and show some like, and like repent a bit. But at the same time, I would have been really pissed off if the characters were like, "Oh, it's okay."
Yeah. Oh, by the way, did you guys see that Funimation tweet about...
Yes.
that
my
was so wrong.
No, that was horrible.
For those who didn't see it, basically, it was that scene where Kaio had a real meal for the first time, made by a mother. And it was her blinking, and then it showed the egg that was cooked by Satoru's mom, and then every time she blinked, it would show, like,
that's funny.
ramen, or quarters, or not quarters, whatever they have, yen, money, or whatever. And then the tweet said something about how it feels to be a college
Yeah.
student.
Oh, that's amazing. That's the kind of thing I would tweet.
It was deleted almost immediately, but of course, like everyone had already screen capped it.
I do not get that side of the internet. I don't screen cap everything I see that's like possibly dramatic.
Well, yeah, no, it's like the same people who download YouTube videos as soon as they go up if it could potentially lead to any drama.
Yeah.
It was...
I personally, I think that's kind of funny, but I'm a person that's into dark humor, so.
It was funny because even Random was like, I thought Ray was running the Funimation Twitter account.
Well, he knows me, so.
But yeah, that was pretty bad, but pretty funny. I thought it was funny, but it was like bad funny.
It's not the thing you want to say as a company.
No, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Oh, I'm sure whoever tweeted that out is out of the social media group. And
Like,
Probably
I could
have-
tweet that out, maybe I'd lose a follower or two, but Funimation, yeah, that's a bad idea.
yeah. Okay, so our hopes for the last two episodes is that it just doesn't get rushed or anything, or we get everything that we need to feel complete after watching this anime. That's like their main concern with this, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead into Grimgar, episodes 7 through 9. So in episode 7, it seemed like the whole episode was them trying to get through Mary and kind of figuring themselves out too as friends. And then we also got to see a lot of their skills. Like, I think Haruhiro had this like cool skill where he can like slice through. People could feel it. I don't know. It was like some weird MMO skill, basically, for a thief. In episode 8, it was that raid on the church. Part of the reason was to get Haruhiro's knife back. And then they also almost lose Mary the same way they lost Monato by getting an arrow through her back. And then at the end, they were finally able to get enough money to be real volunteer soldiers, and they had this nice little lighthearted moment of giving, or leaving a volunteer soldier on Monato's grave. And then in episode 9, half of it was kind of like this chill episode where they were kind of they were taking a day off, basically. And in the second half, they were talking about going into the Cyrene, I think that's how you pronounce it, the Cyrene mine, which is the same place that Mary lost her friends. And then we also get a little bit of Haruhiro learning some new skills with his training this thief trainer person. Yeah. So what did you guys think about these 3 episodes?
It keeps getting better.
Does that's true.
No, I'm.
Can I say this show has amazing music? Like the music.
Oh my god! Well, the insert songs. Oh,
right? That I think it's called like Nutrient or something like that. It was the one they used on episode like 4 or 5. It was so good.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Also the opening is probably my favorite.
Yes,
of
the
the
opening is
season.
amazing. Thank you. Oh my god, I had an argument with Lou about this.
Okay, well, I should say the song. I think the song is my favorite of the season. Like in terms of if you throw in like the animation of the opening and stuff, like Erased is pretty damn good. And
fair enough.
Dimension W also is pretty good, but just from like the song standpoint, I think Grimgar is probably my favorite.
Yeah, that's the main thing I use to judge openings, anyways. So pretty much, I mean, unless some animation is really outstanding, but like I don't think Dimension W was like anything crazy either.
No, it
so.
was just dancing hype.
I actually really like the marbles thing going on in the
At the beginning.
Grimgar's opening.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like those shows. Everything about it I like. The music is so good for it, and it fits it so well, too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love Grimgar.
Grimgar is, overall, it's such a really good anime. It's a very realistic, so to speak.
That's what I'm liking about.
Yeah, you really feel the weight of what's going on, compared to other fantasy anime. I can't really speak much about Log Horizon because they know if they die, they can come back. But in a lot of shows where death is so important in the series, you don't feel the heaviness from other series compared to this.
Oh, and I mean, like, I if you wanted to make the Sword Art Online comparison, like in SAO, whoever that chick is that dies early, that Kirito's in a guild with or whatever, that's kind of like not addressed that much throughout the rest of the series. It's not, it weighs on him heavily at like, right after it, but it kind of gets like forgotten about as the show goes on. But that's in Grimgar, it's been the total opposite. Like they're actually handling that theme of, coping with grief extremely well and extremely realistically. No, I'm sure like
that and
it's close to
character
home for a lot of people.
relationships too. That and just the whole character relationships all together, they handle in such a realistic way. Like whenever Haruhiro's talking to himself, like doing his little in his head monologue, it's like, oh my god, it's like I understand exactly why you're thinking that way. It's like so realistic as when in like, another show they might just say something sarcastic or whatever.
No, exactly.
And it's just the character interactions in the show are great because they're real. Like even when they don't even say anything to each other, but they just like look at each other. It's a character driven show. I mean,
oh yeah, and I'm a sucker for character driven shows.
It is. And it's not just like the death of their own friend, but meeting somebody who has also experienced the same thing and how to get through to them, which is what they're doing through Mary. Trying to get through to her even though she's gone through similar things.
Yeah, no, and and that gives them like that immediate connection, but kind of like you were saying, Ray, it doesn't really, they never really like explicitly state stuff. Sometimes it's just like the way that, like they're looking at each other and stuff. Yeah, no, it speaks volumes. The body language is used really well.
And the art style for this show just fits it so perfectly.
It does.
Like,
yeah.
Oh.
The like.
It just feels so light and mellow, kind of like the whole look of it is. And then when it gets sort of dark and they have like those dark colors for the blood and everything, like.
Yeah, when the blood comes out, it's kind of like it just changes the whole.
It stains like the palette, basically.
Yeah, and even with the goblins, like I feel like even when they're killing goblins, it's so heavy on the goblins' end too. Like when they were on that raid in the church, when what's his name, Ranta? Was this the same episode? Yeah, when Ranta was like, it's either you or me, and the goblins even knew that. There's like even with the goblins, they're humanized in a way, I guess, so to speak.
I think in that same episode, in the raid on the church, like they just cut to 2 goblins playing chess.
Yeah, they're just like, it's crazy how good this show is when it comes to realism for a fantasy series. They put a lot of human elements in it.
Yeah, no, I mean I've said that like. In terms of the actual like meaning and story and stuff, to me it's more it's closer to almost like a fantasy slice of life than it is to action focused.
That's definitely fair.
Like the action's a definite part of it, but it's a lot of it's just about like learning to live and survive in this world, and they've handled it so much more realistically than any other stuck in a game series I've seen.
Right, which they still haven't, mentioned if they really are stuck in a game or another world. Like, is it really?
No, yeah, and I'd be okay if they never really do like focus on that. Like if they never get to the point, like I don't know if there'd be a season 2 or anything like that, but whatever, in the future, I'd be totally fine with them never actually addressing like getting out of this world or whatever.
Yeah.
Because I don't really think it's about that. I think it's more of like getting used to this world because that's all that there is now.
Right. And so, moving forward with the series, in episode 9, they're planning on going to the Siren Mine, which is the place where Mary lost a lot of her comrades in her other group. And I talked to this about Ray, and the whole, during Monoto's funeral, they mentioned that you have to give them a proper burial, or else they'll come back as like the king's undead or something like that. I can't remember what the exact thing was.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if, since her friends, I'm assuming her friends never got a proper burial because they were left behind after, being killed, or supposedly being killed. So I'm wondering if they go back in there and they see Mary's friends kind of, as undead.
Oh, damn.
Like that's kind of like, I mean, they didn't really explain this curse that they have on the land kind of thing. It was only mentioned during Monoto's death. So I'm kind of wondering if that's gonna happen. I know episode 10's already out, so
Yeah, I've seen it. But
That actually does make so much sense though, because I mean, like, it's one of those things where why would they go through so much trouble to like explicitly say that if it isn't brought up again later?
Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, that's gonna be so crazy for Mary to see her friends, like.
Oh yeah, that'd be super heavy.
And then how is that gonna affect like their battle in there? And I can't remember what kind of monsters they mentioned that was in there, but it's gonna like totally affect the whole like strategy of trying to get through this mine.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of excited to watch episode 10 and see how that's gonna work out.
spoiler.
And I wouldn't put it.
No spoiler for that one.
I'm gonna spoil it. No.
No.
Oh, God, have you seen episode 10?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet
You'll be
either.
happy. I'll just say that.
Uh-oh.
They haven't actually done anything with that yet. But it looks like it's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, it seems like,
Now go watch it after we're done.
I will after the hockey game, but I mean, like, but like that was like my big thing. Like when they said that they were gonna go back to the mine, I'm like, oh my god, Mary's friends are still in there.
What's gonna happen to her shiny legs?
Oh, her legs are so nice in that episode.
I had to find a way to bring that up.
She had such they really displayed her legs pretty nicely in episode 9. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Shiny legs.
Shiny legs.
Well, I was happy to see what's her face, the teacher, Big Tits McGee, get another appearance.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so sassy.
I don't know. I mean, she was okay.
No, actually, I was
didn't really
actually
see
not
her.
happy to see her get another appearance.
Okay,
That's
good.
one of the
Actually,
few
I don't mind
aspects
her.
of the show that does still annoy me, is that they have to have some fan service in there somewhere.
I liked her as a
They
character.
didn't have like
though.
the classy fan service like they did with Mary. That's
True.
Oh
classy.
yeah, that was class. But
not with the teacher.
I liked the teachers like when he asked her questions. I liked her response. Like the kind of character she is, though. I do.
No,
like.
yeah, that's true.
But I do see what you're saying with like this outfit makes no sense. Like
Yeah.
the way
No, I
they,
mean,
the
like
way
her
they
personality
display
is
her.
fine. Yeah, just the design.
Yeah.
yeah, that is a little weird. But
Oh, she's a thief. Well, I don't know how thieves the thief outfits in games, so I don't know how.
Hey, I mean, the thief character in
Whatever.
Konosuba dresses like that too, so maybe there's something we
Yeah.
don't know.
So yeah, I guess it's a thing. I don't know. I never played a thief in an MMO, so I'm mostly a tank, so I don't really know.
were you a tank?
No, I was a DPS.
Yeah, I
DSP,
was gonna say, you
DPS,
weren't a tank.
DPS. No, but I acted like one, and people got mad.
Well, that's because you suck. No.
No, but I also really like the character designs for all of it. And I like how even in the intro, how they have like that watercolor kind of art style when
I like how
have
their
on.
designs largely match like the color of their like the color of their hair and everything and the color of their clothing all matches and it's nice.
Yes, everything just works
It
so
does.
perfectly. Thank you, A1
Literally, the
Pictures.
first thought when I saw Mary was like, "Damn, that's good character design."
Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen the original like artwork for him? It looks so good.
I have not
It looks
like the artwork
really
on the
good.
light
It's good.
novel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
original for the light novel was very good, and but you can see the transition over, and it's actually really nice. Like it looks good.
Yeah.
If you see it, you'll be like, oh, that's why they went for this kind of art style.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
Yeah,
It works, yeah. It works with the style of it. And just the overall feel and ambiance of the show is just, like Ray says, it's like a really calming show. And, watercolor definitely works for it. And I'm surprised how well the regular, like, animation, even, like, the fighting scenes, even though, like we got watercolor background, but we still got, like, this kind of, like, intense fighting scene. It still kind of works somehow.
No, it does. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I wonder if because there's also a lot of like still shots and panning shots, so I don't actually know. Like, I wonder what the show's budget was and if a lot of their directorial decisions were because of budgetary restrictions. But either way, I think that a lot of the choices work really well. Like, when they'll do like a total like still panning shot focusing on like character crying or something like that. Especially once they start blaring the insert song in the background. Yeah, no, it really drives the emotion home.
Yeah. What do you think about, I think it was in episode 8, when they were at Monoto's grave, they had like that, kind of like this 3D panning thing from the sky and it kind of went down.
I've noticed the 3D animation a few times, and I haven't liked it at all every time it's happened. Like, usually they just use it for a few seconds, but sometimes it's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
See, like a lot of times the best 3D animation is going to be when it's not that noticeable,
Right.
But yeah, no, I know what shot you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of weird. I thought it was cool at first, but then, like, when you go back and watch it again, it's kind of, I don't know, a little corny.
Yeah.
It's like, and then, I mean, you could see it, it's so obvious when they transition from that 3D back to just regular 2D animation, because it just, like, jumps, and it was kind of odd. So, yeah, so I'm really excited for episode 10 to see what's going to happen in the mines.
No, yeah, I am too. Like, this show's completely surprised me. When I watched episode 1, I didn't think I was going to finish it at all. But around I think it was episode 2, when they had like the first real battle, it became pretty obvious that this wasn't your typical stuck in a game type show. Everything just has so much more weight to it. The fights have more weight, the emotion, the characters.
Can I say something? I've mentioned this before, but the fights, I feel, literally have more weight to them, in the sense that, like, when you see like a goblin swing something, like, you can see that, like, they're getting pulled by the weight of the object that they're swinging and stuff.
Thank you. I've been hoping somebody else would notice that type of stuff. No, I mean, it's really important in a fight sequence too. Like, some fight sequences you'll watch, you'll see somebody swing a giant sword and it just looks like they're swinging a feather, But they go to the trouble in the animation of actually, like, giving, like you said, giving the swords and giving every movement weight, and both in like the literal physical sense, and also just in the, like, every swing of the sword actually, like, has that sort of, like, emotional weight behind it too, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it has a purpose.
Yeah, even when they're killing the goblins, like, like in the beginning, it was so brutal, killing them, because you see the goblins trying to get away.
Oh yeah, the first one is so brutal.
I was like, and it was their first kill too, so it was like, oh gosh, like, can you imagine kill? It's like, it's a goblin. It's when you play an MMO, it's like a mob to level up, but it's like when you see it trying to escape and trying to live, it's like, I kind of feel bad.
Yeah, no, and I mean,
this.
they've established that, like, the goblins and the enemies in the world, especially the goblins, are like are living, breathing, beings in this world who have lives of their own, and they're not just like enemy fodder for all the players to just get rid of.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys actually bother watching past the ED, but they do mention too that there's actually a side story. I'm assuming it's also a light novel or a manga, literally just following some goblins.
Oh, that's bad, man. You can't do that.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying though. Like, it's very clear that like the morality here, like you're still killing something. Like everything though is just trying to live its own life.
Is
in
this
this
in
show.
the? Is this in the anime? Like they have
What?
like a thing at the end?
Yeah, at the end of every episode.
Oh, I never noticed that.
I think it's after the
I've seen some of
previews.
those end cards at the end with
Yeah.
yeah, some of one of them in particular I remember was just like two goblins like sitting drinking tea or something like that.
Yeah, they always have those little cards with just the goblins just doing some normal stuff.
Yeah, I can't handle that. That's too much.
And it is. I mean, it's like Ranta said in the episode. Like, it's still kill or be killed. Like, that is the way that this world works. But the show makes sure that that killing it, that it gives that each kill, it gives it a sort of heaviness to it, that it matters, and you're still taking a life, even if it isn't like a human life.
So I'm wondering what they're going to do with these other monsters, because from what we've seen through Mary's flashback, they just seem kind of like big, giant.
Yeah, no, it seemed like a
things,
generic,
so-
totally.
Like a boss or something.
Yeah.
So.
Episode 10.
I know, they'll do that. So I don't know how that'll work out with the rest of the monsters in the series, but
It would be
Again,
weird if only the goblins are humanized. That would be a little weird.
yeah, I mean, unless they make it like what kind of monsters would it look like? Some kind of just giant, like
Kobolds.
yeah. If they like I don't know, have them with kids, like little baby ones or something, then that would be kind of bad. But yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
So,
gonna
let's-
spoil it, but all your questions will be answered. Episode 10. Just go,
Aw,
go, my children.
I'm prepared.
well, that's kind of exciting.
It's a
kind of
really good
exciting to hear.
episode.
So let's go ahead, I guess, and move on to Dimension W. So episode 7, we get a lot of Kyoma's backstory, as to why he hates the coils, basically. We learn about his girlfriend, who died during surgery to get a new body, basically. And then we also learned about his work within the team, that Grendel team. And it was because of the coils that he lost his girlfriend and a lot of the members from Grendel on that, you think it's called Easter Island, the Easter Island incident. And then in terms of the current story, Kyoma and a bunch of the other coil collectors go to Easter Island to go, I think I totally lost this one, but I think they went to go retrieve a coil that started working in the nothingness.
Yeah,
Yeah, numbers.
like a coil showed up and started working, and it started getting rid of the nothingness.
Yeah.
It started bringing the nothingness back into reality or something like that.
Yeah, this is
This
beyond me.
show is literally more mysterious than Erased, and Erased is a mystery show.
I don't know if that's a condemnation of Dimension W, Erased, or both.
A little bit of both, in my opinion.
Yeah. And then there's this weird sphere that seems to go after men, sexist sphere, that puts people into this weird coma. And then in episode 8, we follow Kyoma and Mira as they make their way to the ground zero of this whole incident. While the other collectors are fighting the robots that are coming back to life because the nothingness is disappearing. Oh man, this is so weird. Just trying to explain it.
Yeah, it's something else.
And then on their way there, they run into two of the collectors, the sibling collectors. Those fat-looking things, and they also run into Loser, the thief. And then Kyoma comes in contact with that sphere. And then in episode 9, we see what Kyoma's seeing while he's in that coma, which
Kyoma.
is I know. I had to think about that. Am I saying this right? Which is actually just his memories. It kind of puts him back in the memories of when he was with the Grendel team, and then somehow he gets transported into Salva's memory, and we see about a little bit about his memory and how he lost his brother. And then we also learn about Loser's past, which is he was a scientist on the island, and then we also learn about. Wait, hold on. I know his name. The doctor, the weird-looking, Joker-looking doctor, Yuri Zaki, who did a bunch of illegal experiments with the coil. So I think that was. Did I miss anything important? I'm pretty sure I did.
Either which way, that's a
If
lot
you
to
missed
learn.
it, I missed it.
Yeah, that's still a lot to learn, and we still don't know everything we need to know to find out what the fuck is going on.
Not even close.
Yeah, I mean, when I was typing this up, I was like, "Wait, what happened?"
When I was
They've given
watching
a
it,
lot
I
of
was like,
hints.
wait, what happened?
Like, Losers mentions, like, the spear specifically went after Kyoma and the other guy because that they're connected to what happened on Easter Island, obviously, on Kyoma's case anyways. And, like, Loser makes it very clear, like, he should remember, like, he needs to remember sort of the importance of it. And we have nothing on that yet. Like, all we know is, like, when they got to the island, then it's just blank. So, like, what we literally need to know, even though we've learned so much, we don't know yet.
Well, I'm not sure that I fully understand what we have learned.
Yeah, I don't get the
It's so
whole
confusing
island
still.
incident. Like, I think what we needed to understand was kind of how this company, is kind of like in a war within itself or something. And there's anti-coil people, and there's just so much like political stuff that's kind of
Do
happening.
you get what Dimension
that it's
W
kind of
is? Like the actual dimension where they're getting all the energy from?
It's like the possibilities,
Yeah.
the different possibilities.
No,
that
that's
could
literally what
happen.
it is. They're taking all the other different possibilities. So basically, all the other universes or whatever, they're taking all the energy out of that because like there's a different one for every different possibility, sort of thing.
Yeah, and turning that into energy, and then it, which is also dangerous because we've seen in previous episodes that if the coil starts acting up, it'll take all all the previous possibilities and combine them into one giant blob.
Mm-hmm.
Which reminded me of what's his name from Fate when he turned into a giant blob.
Oh yeah.
Shinji.
Yeah, I was like, oh look, it's a giant Shinji.
Like everything makes a little more sense when you have to remember that though. You always have to be conscious of what Dimension W is. Otherwise, this show makes no fucking sense.
Yeah, it's the negative x-axis, guys. That bothered me. That bothered me so much, way more than it should have.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
in general, though, like the actual idea from the show, like if you forget that or if you don't remember that, like these things seem so random. Like there was literally points sometimes in the show where I went like, "Oh yeah, that's why." Because
And I'm wondering if maybe that's like part of a problem is that like it didn't really nail down what Dimension W was precisely like from the onset. So now like throwing it all in here like together is making it much more difficult to follow.
Well, you don't understand though. If they did it through a monologue, everyone would have been upset.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
You know, there's no positive result here apparently.
I don't know. I guess make it less complicated. That's the only thing I can think of.
I don't know. Like, I get the story. It's just I don't get the story. I get it, but I don't get it.
The last 3 episodes are gonna like help a lot, like decide a lot on if this ends up actually being good or not. But I do think it still has a lot of potential to be good, and it's still very high up there as one of the best shows of this season, I think.
I would put it in that top group barely right now, and it could fall out or it could move up. Yeah.
Yeah, it has potential to move up though, which is a thing. So
it does. And at the beginning, I was losing interest in it pretty quickly in the first half or so. But the last few episodes have sparked some interest, at least, even if it has been hard to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Especially once we got Kilma's backstory, that helped.
Yeah,
they do a lot of good stuff with the storytelling in this show, but like at the same time, like it just makes it so hard to follow sometimes.
Definitely. The way that they put like the backstory in, like after Kilma gets sucked into the sphere thing, they then like immediately like cut to some of like his past memories, like with the initial incident and like with Salva and his brother and stuff. The way they cut to it was, I was a little confused at first. I wasn't sure if like we were actually seeing his memories or if it was just actual total dream.
I think it was the memories.
It was it definitely was the memories. Like I got that once they cut to Salva, but it was a little confusing at first. But the other thing I didn't get, so Salva's brother was like crushed by that rock, but he's okay now. So
I think
he's a robot.
He's a robot. Okay.
He's like what's her name?
Mira.
Yeah, they're basically the same.
Which we found out about Mira and his connection to Kyoma.
Yeah, that was actually very interesting.
Yeah, I like that kind of connection that Mira's body is basically what's his girlfriend's name?
It was made for Miyabi.
It was made for her, but that didn't go so well because I think her head kind of
when they first introduced the character, I thought that like maybe Mira would actually turn out to be her. But I like the way that they did that. That was a nice little twist.
Wonder if they could still do that in some way. I don't know.
I wouldn't totally
she doesn't
rule it
have
out.
the head's gone.
But yeah.
Not Mira. The girlfriend's head's gone. They can't really do anything anymore.
But that's the thing, though. Like, Dimension W literally leaves anything open because literally she could be alive in another dimension.
True. Like with that whole haunted house episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I literally could pull anything out of their ass still, but I mean
they wouldn't do that. They can't do that. They gotta kill her.
The storytelling's been too good to have them do that. Hopefully, but
I think so too. Yeah, that'd be a bad decision to actually bring her back.
But the thing is, they gotta like concisely wrap this up at this point. Like, is what they gotta start doing, and like, make sure we get everything without it just being like overload.
Yeah.
It still feels like an overload.
Yeah, and that's a problem. That they gotta somehow get past that with these last 3 episodes.
No, and
if they can just explain what's going on that, what happened on that island, I think it might wrap it up a little bit.
And maybe that's part of the problem is that, like, right now we have the same level of knowledge as Kyoma does since he doesn't have his memories, and we have no idea what went on in the past. But all the other characters keep, like, referring to specific things, and so it's gotten really hard to follow what they mean without having the knowledge of what happened. So if they were going to go the route where, we're sort of in the dark like Kyoma, then I don't think it was a good decision to include so many of the other characters talking about what happened.
Yeah, it's like, just tell me already, jeez. Aren't you my friend? Like,
and there's so much stuff to follow. Like, isn't that Elizabeth girl, the blonde that follows Loser around? Isn't she also a robot that is somehow connected to Loser's past?
I'm pretty sure it's like with, wasn't there like a girl that was with?
Yeah, it's like.
I'm pretty sure probably it was like a.
Yeah, but like, see, that's what I'm saying though. There's so much that we have to remember right now.
And then we have that doctor, that evil doctor that was working under the one who found out about Dimension W. That's the evil one, the one, him.
Yeah,
his connection, it looks like he was kind of performing some kind of weird coup d'etat on the company or something, causing some kind of trouble, like with what happened in Africa and Salva's country kind of thing. It was like I don't get his drive, like all like there's. While we get a lot of good storytelling, I just don't feel any drive with what's going on. Or I
no,
just
exactly,
don't
and that is a really quick way to drag you out of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's still pretty interesting.
No, I'm still interested. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Right now, if I had to recommend this show to somebody who hasn't started watching it, I'd say don't, and wait until it's all out, because then you might be able to actually follow what's going on. Following this weekly has been a challenge.
This has to be a show that you binge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's it'll definitely make your experience a lot more enjoyable, because weekly just has been a challenge.
And make it a lot less nonsensical too, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's somebody out there who just binged like the last 4 episodes, and they're like, "You're all idiots! Like, this is so obvious."
Well, actually, I did watch 7, 8, and 9 back to back to back.
And you still don't.
I still don't. So maybe it doesn't matter if you binge it or not.
I'd still recommend it, though. It's a better chance.
Oh, it's definitely better. Yeah, you have a better chance. I might just be stupid. Dimension W might be beyond my grasp.
That fifth dimension, or whatever the heck it is, I don't even know. The W axis.
No, I mean, Dimension W is definitely not how actual dimensions work. It's more like a parallel universe type thing.
And using that parallel universe to...
No, yeah, they use a lot of, they throw in a lot of sciencey terms,
But it's all pseudo.
And then also the stuff with coils and whatnot.
Pseudoscience term.
Very much pseudoscience.
It's not even real science.
No. At all.
Yeah, I don't know. And then they just kind of throw a bunch of stuff in there, when he was facing that weird scientist within his memories or something, the girlfriend came out of nowhere and was like, "I believe in your possibilities." And it was kind of like, okay, I don't know. It's a weird show, definitely weird, but it's enjoyable.
There
It's
is
just-
one thing I didn't like from episode 1, and she still bothers me, and that is Mira.
Mira.
Yeah. Mostly because, and there's 2 reasons. One is the occasional fan service is annoying. But, I mean, I've gotten to the point where you're going to get fan service in almost every show, so you just got to get used to it. But
Yeah.
the other thing is her tendency to just say the most obvious shit all the time. Like, I think in one of the recent episodes, like when they were coming up on some of like the robots that they had to fight, like the robots were clearly in view. We could see them. Kilma could see them. And then she was like, "Oh, look, there's 2 robots ahead." She says that shit all the time. It's like, I know.
Oh, she's not the brightest robot in
Even though she's the most advanced piece of technology there is at the moment.
Physically, she's the most advanced piece of technology.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of personality they put in that thing, but...
That's what happens if you make Google a person.
Yeah.
Didn't she at one point, like, literally just, like, look at a picture of somebody, like, look it up in her head and, like, go like, oh, that's this person. Like...
Yeah, I think she did that with a picture of the girl.
Miyabi. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, literally, she has the power of Google in her own brain, and she's still that stupid.
Yep.
What does that tell you about technology? Can't trust it.
That's...
Be like Kyoma and just use little needle-looking things to fight.
Make sure to have on your aluminum foil hats.
Yes, that'll protect you, definitely. And then, yeah, I don't know. There's still, like, a lot of backstories, especially, like we got some of Mira's, but, like, with the Doctor, the original Doctor who created her.
The Doctor Who?
Doctor, yeah. We still kind of, we still need a little bit more from him. And yeah, I'm hoping these last few episodes are gonna answer a lot of that. But I'm kind of more hyped to talk about the next the next anime.
I've been hyped to talk about the next show.
All right.
All right, so let's go ahead actually onto best anime, Konosuba. So in episode 7, the team does this quest to kill a bunch of Dango-looking snow sprites, and I feel no regret for tweeting out that picture of the Dangos burning at all.
That made me so
regret.
sad.
And then Kazuma dies in this episode.
Yeah.
And then he comes back to life thanks to Aqua.
And he dies horribly.
Yeah, his head gets chopped off. Episode 8, they visit Wiz, which is a shopkeeper, and they do a quest to exorcise a mansion that's possessed by the spirits of little dead girls, I think, in the form of creepy dolls. That was a fun episode.
No. The girl or whatever was nice. The spirits were all coming from the grave that they did, that they exercised, that Aqua got lazy, whatever.
Oh, right.
It was a very Aqua-like thing happened.
Yeah, so it was all her fault.
Yeah.
Episode 9 was just boobs, really. I mean, there was all the succubi.
But, like, let's be honest, so those were some really nice boobs.
It was basically, Kazuma goes to this, I think they're called succubi?
Yep.
Succubus?
They're succubus singular.
Yeah. To get erotic dreams, and then he mistakes his dreams with reality and gets all 50 Shades of Grey with darkness. And then in episode 10, which was like an amazing episode, you could probably fit that into like one core of a series. The destroyer comes to town to destroy the town, and they destroyed it.
Best synopsis ever.
Boom!
Best
Episode
vocabulary
10.
ever. If I'm going to hop back real quick to episode 9, that is how you use fan service properly.
I was just about to say the same thing.
Okay.
Guys, this is fan service done right. Other shows need to take notes. We've just gotten done railing on Dimension W and Grimgar for their fan service, but no. Konosuba, episode 9, is by far the most blatant fan service out there. But no, it's done totally right.
It was so good. People hated this episode because
it's fan service. Yeah.
Because it's fan service, but I thought because of how well they did the fan service, I thought it was
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Up
No, I
there.
mean
It was great,
they
you know?
treated Kazuma and all the other guys who were at this succubus bar like complete scumbags.
Yeah, basically.
I
Like, and then
that one point where he looks over at the resume.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
he's like, he's not an adventurer this whole time.
One thing I noticed when he was doing that, and basically like the whole time he was in the bar area, the animation of his like design got really choppy and really really low quality. And I don't know, I thought it was a really nice parallel because like as he looked sloppier and sloppier, like he was becoming scummier and scummier, like with these girls and stuff.
With like this request and stuff, he's like, should I have like a little schoolgirl or
Yeah.
kind of thing? Like, he's like questioning his own like morality if I should be having such a young girl in my dream. It's like, oh, but it's just a dream. It's not like it's real or anything.
No, I think
But-
I think Studio Dean has cemented themselves as the best studio at using bad animation to their advantage. Because they did something similar in Higurashi, where they had like the crazy, horribly animated faces that sort of gave like that unsettling, scary vibe. But and then here, there's just moments of like all the reaction faces are perfect.
Yes.
Just
they're like really
Yeah.
like look on their face.
Oh, yeah.
Studio
Or
Dean,
the
I think, if anything, this season alone shows that Studio Dean has a lot of potential, actually, and it just needs to be used properly with the right shows, and
Yeah.
they can make good stuff. Because I almost brushed this off just because it said Studio Dean on it at first.
Dean finds a way.
Yeah, save an anime.
I mean, and Studio Dean has been known to outsource a lot, but from what I understand, both Konosuba and the other popular show that they're doing this season, Rakugo, are both mostly in-house. So maybe Dean
So
just
they
needs
just
to
need
do their own work themselves. Maybe that's the secret.
Stop being lazy.
Well, maybe they need to actually make more good shows like this. Maybe that's why they greenlit season 2 so fast. Like, we can get more money in, we can actually make good shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
And-
there you go.
And the whole thing with like the animation being really bad, I was surprised in episode 10 because there was a lot of good animation. Like, yes, they did use 3D for the Destroyer, which was like whatever, right? I didn't really care. It was like, okay, 3D, this show animation
It
kind of
fit in with that anyways.
Yeah, with the giant, draw a giant spider-looking thing. But Aqua's power when she just like destroyed the barrier was the coolest thing I've seen there.
Oh, yeah.
This whole season, that one scene of her just like, and then when she went like try hard and her face just went all derpy.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, that's very Aqua.
Megumin's
I screenshot
explosion was also really well animated.
I like
Yes.
In general, I think, can we all agree episode 10, best episode of the series?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like
I
how
don't know.
Aqua's thinking about, like, insurance.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's just give up. We got insurance.
Aqua, like, everyone hates on Aqua. I think I'm like the only one that loves her because, like, they say that she's really whiny and she's just like, she's a bitch and everything. But that's what that's her
That's the point.
character. That's like,
That's what's funny.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
the point
but-
of her, and that's what makes it funny. And they really make her sound stupid because of
No,
it.
exactly. And
Because of her
when she is
whininess.
acting like that, the show is not afraid to just totally shit on her. And she
Can I
totally
say,
deserves
though-
it.
And that's the thing.
Like I said, these last 4 episodes is when they used her the best, I feel like. So, like when Lou said, previously, like, he didn't like her that much, and I sort of agree with him. They used her a lot better lately, like with the last half.
Yeah.
Like,
She was less of, she was less of like the total focal point.
like that, like when they're exercising the house, and he just opens the window, she's still there going on with the story.
Yeah, yeah.
Which happened to be true,
Yeah.
by the way.
And then when
The story that she was saying.
and then episode was it 7 or 6 when the dongos were burning or whatever?
Oh, the poor
Yeah, when he died, how they used her in that episode when she makes him come back, like
Yeah.
they used her better.
She's like, Kazuma, wake up! Yeah. I think Aqua, even though she's like a horrible person, like they totally like show it that she is like a shitty person, She takes the easy route, she's whiny, she's a bitch, but that's like her point, and they really draw that out to put some comedy behind it because they also make her suffer
No, exactly.
a lot.
It's similar with
Like with
Kazuma. I mean, Kazuma's an asshole, and he suffers plenty for it too.
But he's a lovable asshole
Yeah.
still.
He is definitely, yeah.
Yeah, he's not like, okay, let's get out of here.
No, he's the
Everyone else
relatable.
take care
He's
of it.
definitely like the relatable, lovable asshole.
Yeah, he's a good main character actually. So.
He's not generic
Yeah.
and he's not OP. So,
In fact, he's
Those are two
almost
big
useless.
well, they're all pretty much useless. Although
Fair
they get
enough.
more useful as the show wears on.
True.
Which, surprisingly, they're the ones that save the town, like, all the time.
Right? Megumin's
yeah.
still best girl, by the way.
I do like how they
Megumi,
stay.
yeah.
I like how they stay in this like town of novices the entire time.
They don't move on to anything
Yeah,
else.
but like they can
Nope.
go anywhere else.
Why would they? They got a nice house.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Why would...
They're out of the stables.
They're gonna
Right.
they're gonna move there to burn it for insurance money, and then they can get a new house somewhere else.
That's an Aqua thing. The only thing that I was kind of, I guess, disappointed in was their introduction to Wiz. They kind of just,
Yes,
pushed her into the series. They didn't.
that
really...
deserved its own episode.
Yeah, that could have used an episode.
Yeah, they could have.
They even like I mean they like talk about this adventure that happened previously. Like they mention their introduction to her and like talk about the adventure that happened previously. That needed to be an episode really.
Yeah, and then see Aqua's stupidity and how she got.
Release an OVA
Oh,
for
yeah.
it. There you go.
Yeah, but we also learned that she is also evil. Well, she's not evil. She just works for the evil guy.
It just
Yeah.
sounds really stupid when you say it out loud.
She's not evil. She just died and then became the general for the Devil King, basically, somehow. They never really explained it, but there's really no need for explanation in this series for anything. You just kind of go with the flow.
She made like a barrier for something or something like that, and then like literally doing that, he like appointed her general in there.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, even the bad guys.
Yeah,
aren't
he's
really
fine.
bad guys. I mean, I kind of missed
Yeah.
the headless dude. He was kind of like...
Oh, he was a great character. Like, this show is another.
yeah.
It's just like Grimgar. It's character driven, but in a completely different way.
And, yeah, no, I mean, yeah,
And
they
they're
both
both,
they're
like,
both in like the
MMO-y
same
kinda
stuck in a
series,
game
too.
world, fantasy world type genre. It's really really weird watching them back to back because they're completely opposite.
Yeah.
This whole season defies logic.
Dimension W.
This whole season defies logic. Like, everyone sees this stuff, they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be crap. Just another SAO ripoff." And it's like, no, these are two of the best shows. They're so, and they're by A1 and Dean.
No, so many people have been shitting on this season, and I'm like, I'm watching 4 shows that I really, really enjoy, and 5, Dimension W could still jump in there too. No, I mean, if I can get 4 shows that I think are really, really good, that is more than enough for me in any season.
I'd rather have 4 shows that are really, really good than 10 shows that are just good.
Yeah, I agree completely.
And I'm glad that there's going to be another season of Konosuba. There is, I remember I saw Lou tweet about how he was a little bit worried that the jokes might get a little bit old, but I mean, it's possible.
It's
You know,
definitely
the jokes
possible.
might-
Another thing that'll be interesting to see is if they try to introduce a real overarching narrative, and if they like really push this whole Devil King thing, and I don't know, I don't know if they will or not.
See, the thing is, I love how they're doing it right now, though. Like, they're just meeting the generals. Like, she's basically given up, right?
Yeah, she's not.
She's what's her name again? Wiz?
Wiz, yeah.
Wiz, yeah.
Yeah, she's not going to be an issue. They killed the headless guy thing.
Rest in peace.
Like, everything's coming up to them, and I love the way they're doing that. Like, I just hope everything happens like that. They just stay in that novice town. The Devil King eventually comes to them, and there you go.
Yeah.
And then we'll have another
It would fit.
event.
Yeah, it would fit so well if, like, that's just how all the generals became defeated. They all went to, like, destroy the novice town.
Yeah, I like what Kazuma said at the end. He's like, "This is a really long tutorial."
Oh yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah, I guess in a way, because they're still in the novice town, and somehow they're getting all these high level, baddies." Well, not really, just one
Yeah.
And a destroyer,
and a destroyer.
Which, oh my god, the
I love
guy.
the creator of the destroyer.
They had a backstory for it.
It
too.
was so fantastic.
They had everything that makes an anime, like an adventure anime, into one episode. They introduced like this super mega bad thing. They introduced the creator of it and its backstory, which was kind of
And how amazing he was.
How amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, and it starts off as all seemingly dramatic and stuff, but it turns out into the most perfect Konosuba thing.
Oh shit, they actually got it.
What?
The energy source.
Oh, the energy. He's like,
Yeah.
wow,
It's like,
actually...
well, I guess I gotta actually do it now.
He's like, oh no, I lost control of it. Oh, I can't get out of it. So
He's like, I guess I'll just sit here now.
He died happy, like Shakwa said. So amazing.
Yeah, I'm gonna miss it until season 2 comes out because this was like it's really lighthearted and it's just you can just chill with it. It's not really anything to take seriously. And to those who do take it seriously, shame on you. That's not the point of this.
It's supposed to be like a parody of the genre.
Yeah.
Oh, it does it so well. Too.
Yeah, and I think Ray mentioned how this show parodies another Stuck in a Different World.
Yeah, they make a parody of the getting run over and dying, and that being the transportation to another world. It happened in a manga I have over here, Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. The guy
It sounds just like that's like the definition of Konosuba.
Oh yeah, no, he was a fat otaku who gets hit by a car in some accident. I forget. I think it was a truck actually. That's why they made it a tractor. And he just gets teleported into this new world, being born as a baby, and it starts from there. Like literally, it starts with him being like a toddler.
Interesting.
But like that's where they got that from. They're making fun of that.
And they do make fun of just the whole genre in general.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stuck in a video game. Like, like these are main characters who are super powerful but super useless. Except for Kazuma, who's supposed to be the super powerful one.
Exactly.
And he's super useless. So, it's just a great show, and I love it so much. Just the comedic timing is just
The other thing, I don't know, I think I'm probably the only person who got this vibe of a parody that I think they were kind of going for. But to me, Darkness totally gives off vibes of being a parody of Saber from Fate. And I say that because, well, first, like, just their appearance is very similar. Like, her armor is almost identical to Saber's, except it's yellow, not blue. But, like, the whole thing with her being a masochist, I don't know, that completely, I thought it sort of reminded me, like in Fate, Saber's always running into fights and getting beat up. And still winning, not dying, but always, lots of blood, lots of violence. Never goes well.
It could be. I wonder if there's any comments from the creator on that.
No, I mean, it could, it could just totally be coincidence in me thinking about that, like, on my part. But then again, the Megumin also is giving me vibes of, what's her name, from Chunibyo? Rika?
Oh, yeah, no, that definitely, that's why I love her.
Yeah. No, so I mean, like, the fact that, like, she also seems to be a parody of another character, especially two characters that are so prominent. But, yeah, no, I just, even if that's not the case, like, still Darkness's character is great. How she's so obsessed with honor and whatnot.
Well, she is a knight, and she is also royalty.
What's her name again? Lala or something?
Lala.
Dustiness for Lalatina.
Lalatina. I like how he calls her that at the end. He goes like, Lalatina. She goes like, don't call me that!
I can see why she goes by Darkness.
He even drops dustiness too. He like nonchalantly just says, "Oh, dustiness just went in there" or something like that. Like nobody mentioned it. I was like, wait, did he just say dusty instead of darkness when she runs into the machine?
They do a lot of that kind of comedy where he just like says something under his breath.
Yeah, or like when they're like Kazuma. Yes, that's me.
This
I always love when he does that. But man, this show's so great. Why do people hate on it?
I have no idea.
It makes me so sad. It makes me like really sad, especially the Aqua hate. I get triggered by that.
I'm calling it right now. This is probably going to be best comedy 2016.
Yeah, it'll be hard to top.
So
it's really going to be hard to top. Like this is one of the best comedies I've watched in a long time. Probably since something like Haganai.
Yeah, it's one of the first anime or few animes that like I'm sitting there watching and I'm actually like laughing out loud,
No, totally. Like, there's plenty of comedies I've watched where I've thoroughly enjoyed and thought they were really good, but they never actually made me laugh, just sitting there watching it alone. No, but Konosuba routinely makes me laugh. Especially in episode 9, there were 2 parts in particular. When Darkness first walks into the bathroom and Kazuma's like, yo. That shot was fucking great. And then also, like, a little bit before that, he was like, it seemed like he was about to have a real character moment and moment of growth. He was like, wait, I don't need the succubus, stuff. Like, I have friends here and, we become a party together. And then as soon as he's done saying that, he immediately stands up and like, well, I'm off to bed.
Oh, yeah, when they're eating the crab.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It seems like, they set it up as this, like, real moment of character growth. And then in the most perfectly Konosuba way, completely tear it down.
He does that quite a few times. I think he did that in episode 7 when he died. He's like, oh, yeah, like, the other goddess was like, oh, yeah, we can send you back to your old world, to Japan, and you can go live your life there, because you're basically getting reborn again.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, but I met all these cool friends.
He'll even go to a
blah,
rich
blah,
family
blah.
and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. She promised him, like, a great life.
And then he's like, oh, I have all these friends and stuff, and then Aqua kind of just drags him back anyway, so it doesn't even matter.
And, like
yeah, and then he's
a
like,
couple
if I
minutes
die
later,
again,
he's already
I'm going
regretting
back
it.
to Japan.
Yeah. It's just
So, I
good.
mean, I'm excited. I mean, the source material, I mean, do you guys know anything about it? Like, does it go more? Or...
Megumi has a sister.
Oh, I heard about that, and they haven't introduced her.
I know. I'm hoping for season
So
2
they're
with that.
probably
I've seen some of the art of that. I'm waiting for that so much.
Is she Chunin as well, or no?
They just look really
don't
cute
know.
together, so.
Okay.
I'll
take that.
Yeah, I'm shameless, not good reason, but I want it.
You're a Kazuma. You don't question it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it. So yeah, did they say when season 2's coming out? They didn't mention it.
Isn't this also a light novel too? So once again, by the way, also defying all odds, 2 of the best shows are light novel adaptations.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
What? Good job, Japan.
This is just
Not that the season doesn't have its fair share of horrible light novel
Oh, yeah.
adaptations, but
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah,
just
there's
defying odds with them being some of the top shows, though, by some of the
True, it's
what
not.
is thought of as the worst studios.
oh, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
so
it's
you're
a
the
season
one.
that isn't nearly as bad as people say, and I think the people who are going to tell you that it's really bad probably haven't seen Rakugo at all, probably stopped watching Konosuba after an episode. I guarantee you they dropped Grimgar after an episode. I'm sure like the only series that a lot of those people are watching is probably Erased.
Yeah. Most likely. I wouldn't be surprised. Because it's the one getting most of the hype right now.
Konosuba's first episode was so good too. I love how he died. Like that was still like such a like I was laughing out loud so hard when they made his death so pathetic.
And then Aqua just being a jerk and just laughing at him.
It was
Oh, and
so
the
good.
the face that he made too.
Oh yeah.
Like the derpy looking Studio Dean style face.
It's just
Fucking brilliant.
It's the best show, especially comedy wise, I've seen in a while. Like
Yeah, I looked forward to Konosuba every week more than I did Erased, to be honest.
and now there's no more.
Now there's no more.
Sad.
The void.
The void of Studio Dean shit.
What is happening?
What is going on? I mean, I guess this season is a parody of every other season.
I'm gonna have to try to fill the void
True.
with Rakugo, I guess.
That's true. You guys
Yeah.
have to watch Rakugo.
I
That's your
watched the
homework.
first episode, so I'll start from episode 2 then.
I haven't seen anything. I don't know anything about it, so.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't keep going with Rakugo is because I watched the first episode. Like 30 minutes in, I was like, should this be over by now? And like I paused it. I was like, 40. Okay, then. Kept going, and like by the end
only
of it,
the
I was
only the
just
first
so
episode is
tired.
45 minutes.
Yeah, I didn't know that at first either, so that sort of stopped me for a bit. I did go back at one point to look, and we're like, oh, so now it's normal, because I was considering starting it again. But
Yeah, no, that's completely
I
understandable.
hadn't dropped as many shows at that point yet. So
I ended up I'm not dropping, but I haven't even kept up with Phantom.
I'm like 3 episodes behind. It's not
I'm
good.
kind
I
of
completely
like
dropped it.
I love KyoAni, but
Oh, it looks amazing still.
I don't know. It's pretty, yeah.
KyoAni's I would say right now KyoAni's my favorite studio. I even did a whole video on them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Phantom World has like significant problems, but I think they're almost all entirely with their story and their source material, neither of which are really KyoAni's fault. Like the animation is still top notch.
Yeah.
Even if there is like, obviously the fan service can be heavy at times, but
Yeah, so it is based off of. It's not like an original.
yeah, no, it's a light novel adaptation.
Yeah. So some of the worst come from them, and some of the best.
Yeah.
There would be an example of a shitty light novel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
We know
I
it's
mean,
going to make money for him, so at least there's that.
I'm just holding out till UFO season 2.
Is it
Yeah,
gonna
when is that
happen?
coming out?
It hasn't been announced yet. I would guess either summer or fall.
Yeah, you know it's going to
Fall
happen.
KyoAni also
so.
has their a silent voice movie coming out.
Oh,
in
yeah,
fall.
I'm
I
looking
think it's
forward
in
to
Oh
that.
yeah. Woo.
It's so good. That manga is so good.
I'm so glad it's being done by
Yeah.
KyoAni.
That is
It's
one of
gonna
the
be
best
really
options.
pretty. Yeah. It was either that or I think Brainbase would have done a good job with it.
Yeah.
With the
Yeah,
style
probably.
of how it is. Just based off of like 1 Week Friends and what was the other one? There was another show that they did, Brainspace. That was really pretty. The book, the
Yeah,
girl that
yeah,
reads the
what
book
is
all the
that?
time.
It's on Crunchyroll. The house with there's that big titted lady who can never get a boyfriend.
It was pretty. It was a really pretty show. Brainbase does a lot of pretty things too.
I gotta know.
They're
that.
really good with. They're really good with lighting. I think. Are you looking it
I'm
up?
looking it up.
It's. I think it's the name of the house that they're staying at. Kind of like Sakura.
Yeah, some Sakarosa. Yeah.
It's kind of.
Oh,
like
I know what you're talking about. Kawaiso.
Yes.
Yes.
Guide to
Yes,
Manners,
yes.
Hostile Behavior, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one's done by Brainspace, and I think if it wasn't KyoAni, I think Brainspace would have done a good job with it
Mm-hmm.
for
Oh, they did defrag.
the
Gotta
silent
watch
voice.
Definitely.
So yeah, I'm excited for it. Did you guys try just off the top of my head, did you guys try Ajin?
No.
I watched a little
No.
bit.
Is a 3D kind of sucky.
It threw me off a lot.
Okay. I was kind of sad because like I saw it. I was excited and sad when I saw that it was going to be like 3D because like I read the manga and it's really good.
Yeah.
But
No, I did get
When I
like a lot of
saw-
comments on my seasonal videos saying like, "Oh, you should watch it. The story's really good."
Just
So
read
I
the
don't know, I might have
manga.
Yeah.
to pick it up.
read the manga. Don't bother with the
Yeah.
anime.
The manga is
That
really
might be
good,
what I-
and if you buy manga, it's from Vertical, and the quality is amazing. So
Really?
yes, so just buy that manga.
Just read the manga.
It not only will you love it for it being good, but the quality of it is so good.
It's also on Crunchyroll,
Yes.
I think. Yeah,
Oh,
so if
okay.
you don't want to buy the manga, you can start it off there and see if you like it.
But you should join me in my horrible habit.
Don't do it.
I have
Save
over
yourself.
200 volumes right now, just lying around.
Save
I have more on
yourself.
pre-order. I'm about to place another order on Right Stuff.
That is like flammable stuff right there.
my holiday haul had like 50 plus volumes.
That is one thing. I don't own anything that I haven't seen or read.
Oh, I cannot.
And I'm sure that puts me in like the vast minority of people in the
Yeah.
community.
I have so much shit I still have to read. But I like that actually because it always gives me something to look forward to. So I like having some stuff I haven't seen or read.
That's not to say I haven't bought anything like without having seen or read it first, but
I just buy in such quantity that there's always
It's
extra.
disgusting. He buys it off Amazon, and it's my Amazon account, so I always get all
Well,
these
you have
emails.
Prime.
So I'm always getting all these emails. Oh, hey, you bought another manga. Great. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all of the series that we are talking about for this episode. So Jack, why don't you go ahead and plug yourself?
okay. My channel is called Under the Scope Reviews, where I review anime, do analyses, and some discussion, seasonal stuff. Yeah, pretty much.
Are you on Twitter?
Right, I do have Twitter. You can follow me at UTS Reviews. You should follow me because I like Twitter and I'm on there way too much. But yeah, I don't have that many followers.
What else do you got? Do
Do you have like
market yourself better? Come
That's
on,
pretty
do
much it. No, I don't
Do you
have
have a
Facebook
Patreon or anything?
Tumblr or anything. I do have a Patreon,
Yeah, there
but
you go.
actually I legitimately do. And I think I have like 2 donors there.
Yeah, that's all you gotta
There.
get out there, man.
That's more than like 80% of the Patreon, so
You still
That's
made like
true.
our ad revenue for the month, so there you go.
I mean, yeah, I don't monetize my videos for fear of copyright strikes, so I guess that makes up for it.
There you
That's
go.
why we do things very safely here and don't have the
Yeah.
freedom you do with that.
Yeah,
No, exactly. I mean,
We're scared.
as many since my videos are literally nothing but clips of anime,
Yeah,
lots of potential for copyright strikes.
that
Well,
could
we
literally
do
be a whole
too.
discussion.
We do too, technically.
Yeah, we just try to get around
Yeah,
the bots
yeah, you
and
guys- yeah.
law.
But we. Shh! Don't tell anyone. Don't tell YouTube. Yeah. But you don't have like. Do you have like the hummingbird? You keep track of your anime.
I do have. I mean, like I have a Mal account, but
Ugh.
I don't have an. And I do have Hummingbird, but I don't have anything that's updated at all.
Everyone's so bad
Okay,
at
so
that.
just subscribe and follow him on Twitter.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
We'll put all the links down in the description, below, so you guys don't miss it.
From now on, can we just like at all guests just say "Go plug yourself" at the end?
Go plug
Yeah.
yourself.
Was that too
weird.
clever?
That's too no.
Too-
I had to think about it for a second, to be honest. I was like, what are you trying to say?
Saying "Go fuck yourself."
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
It took me like,
Nobody got
oh
it.
good, I'm not the only one.
Yeah, that was way too clever for me. I'm sorry.
It wasn't even that clever.
Shut up. It was.
It was so lowbrow that nobody thought of it.
Yeah. Yeah,
I don't know.
but
Funimation might tweet out something like that.
Yeah, there we go. Really, they should just put me in
if
charge of their
Ray's
social media.
running it, yeah. No, we can't have that.
I mean, really, you'd never see anything from them because I don't tweet out.
It's like, is Funimation still in business? Are they still using their Twitter account?
Just post images of my bookshelves every now and then.
And then post a little like Konosuba like screenshot of Megumi.
Yeah, and I'll make sure to favorite people's tweets every now and then. So there you go.
Yep.
Lots of favorites. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Wow. Well, that's one way to end the show. But thanks
There
guys
you
for
go.
listening, and we will see you. And we will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.